So, I started some Trade League. I made a lot of characters in SSF, but wanted to have a look on Trade League and also was somewhat interested in progression, as I usually are. I'm not so much of an endgame dude. I like progression and I like progression guides. So I tried Trade League, like a completely fresh start, and started with a Gas Arrow character. Obviously I played a similar one just on Pathfinder on SSF as well, but I wanted to see what the difference with Trade League actually is, and to be fair, it's quite insane on how easily you can comparatively progress. Also keep in mind that this build will be nerfed in the future. They already said, probably not over Christmas now, but at some point they want to change the interaction with Gas Cloud and Ignites, so this will change at some point in the future. I don't know when. I put together a max roll guide. We have basically everything in the notes. I'm just gonna go over a few key points here that are a bit hard to put in there. Just talk about it a little bit, but you can also just click the link and have a look there. Keep in mind that this obviously, especially endgame version, is mostly based on Ventura's guide on it that I used also to progress this here. The value is not like in the build itself. I hope it's helpful for people to have a little bit more handheld, written down guide and progression. So if you need that, that's cool. But if not, then just check out Ventura's thing. I also link you his video where he explains the build really well, or you just check out the max roll thing. I just wanted to show the actual character that I ended up a little bit, like, so you have some information about the footage. I put an entire map at the end, essentially. So this is basically the character already with acrobatics. So it has like 4.7k evasion. Without acrobatics, it has probably like 15k or something like that. I'm overcapped on resistance, kind of already preparing to get new gear and remove some of these runes here, so they don't need to be resistance runes anymore. Maybe put some chaos res, because that one is still a little bit low. I'm 2.2k health, which is supported by a bunch of strength. So if you look at that, that's my current skill tree. Like I'm on my way to get to level 90 here, but I've allocated all the strength nodes that are essentially possible instead of dexterity, because I'm already at cap. I mean, dexterity gives you this one, but like 3 skill points for 1% attack speed seems kind of weird, and don't feel like I need the accuracy. Not entirely sure about this. You can also go accuracy, I guess, or dexterity, but I basically chose only the dexterity I need, and I will need a little bit more later on. Just to have strength that gives you life, essentially. So that's kind of important to note in here. Also, I wanted to show you a little bit of the progression of my bows, basically, because that's like kind of hard. Overall gear is pretty hard in this game, in terms of like how to, you cannot just get specific stuff, right? So basically my bows, that's the ones I still have. I'm not entirely sure if there are some bows in between missing or not, but this is like a very early bow I had. It's just like, I don't know, something I found basically on the ground. Has some fizz damage in this case. I'm just looking at the damage number over there, right? Can be any element, keep that in mind. It doesn't matter, because maybe that's super important here. If you look at Gas Arrow at the explosion, it just says it deals, like in this case, 283% of attack damage, and it converts physical damage to fire as well, but it deals that as physical attack damage. So basically what I'm trying to say is like any type of damage works for this, and it converts all of that into your fire thing, and then yeah, that's basically it, which is really cool. So you can also have like bows and stuff that, at least early on, that have like, for example, this one has added fire damage, I can add added lightning damage, added cold damage, something like that. The only difference is later on you want a fizz bow, because fizz just scales higher than the elemental ones. So just the fizz bow will have just more DPS as the others. That's the only real reason, I believe. I don't see any other reason to do that. So yeah, very early bow, a bit quite later bow basically, that I got or found on the ground. I'm always socketing physical damage things. There's probably an argument to socket flat damage early, if that's more than the percentage physical, something like that. Just throw some runes in there. This is more of a endgame bow, like a very early one I got. At some point, it also has attack speed, which feels really, really well. So again, this is like a very high, comparatively high physical bow. That's also, all of them are not dual strings. It's just hard to get really good dual strings early on because there's more other bases like that. And this is the bow. I actually crafted that one myself. Like the Vision crafted it, which went really well. Like it had already, I had identified, like the guide on how to do this is you identify a bow off the ground that has like 2 good prefixes and 1 shitty suffix. And then you slam on another good prefix and 2 bad suffixes, basically. So yeah, so like pure Vision, very meaningful situation there. And then you use 2 artificer orbs. Corrupt it, get lucky, and then you socket the iron runes in there, and then you have a bow. So yeah, that happened, which was kind of cool. Before that, I used that one basically for the entire map progression. Even I was still on this bow. That was getting a little bit iffy. It was a little bit difficult, to be fair, at some point. So I got this one. And from there on, pretty short after, actually, this is the bow. I did buy off trade. It was rather expensive. It was like 100 exalts or something like that. But also keep in mind, it took me quite a while to find somebody to sell me this bow for less than like 2 or 3 divines or something like that. That one also had like a difference here. This one didn't have attack speed, and you can really feel that. It obviously has more punch then, because it has a lot of purely damage, but it's rather slow. And it doesn't feel that great, to be fair. So yeah, I don't know. I really would recommend to have like 10 plus attack speed on your bow. Make that somewhat of a priority as much as possible. Obviously, it's not an insane bow. It's just a good bow, I guess. It's not that bad. It has like the fizz, increased fizz, added fizz, and attack speed, and that's it. Everything else. That's also the one you see in the mapping there. Also, what I really wanted to highlight again, I know it's in the guide, but like this stuff like gain life or especially mana on kill is like really important. Like I have life gained here, I have mana gained here, I have mana gained here as well. I believe you can get something on your gloves as well. But if you don't have this mana gained, it's such a pain with mana. You can obviously use inspiration on your skill gem as well. Here, yeah, I don't know. It's the problem is if you don't have a 6 link, so you have a 5 link, which is what you will get. That's really easy with corruption. That's like I have a corrupted one, right? You get the free socket, corrupted into 4 socket. Just make sure you don't break your only one. It's like if you don't have magnified effect, like swapping this for inspiration is really bad. It just feels bad, to be fair, and yeah. Swapping emulate, that's like so much damage missing, so it's not really an option either. Martial tempo feels horrible if you remove that. You cannot remove scatter shot. So if you have a 6 link, it's far more feasible to use inspiration, and then maybe you don't need the mana stuff all that much. That's like a possibility, but other than that, I don't know. Also, I want to note that I have too much spirit. Like I randomly slammed a 49 spirit on this thing here. So I just picked Alchemist Spoon. It's, I don't know. I mean, it helps a little bit because you gain flash charge. It's actually not that bad for like bigger bosses, so you don't run out of flash charges during them. It can be a little bit of a problem actually. So I don't know. I just have that in case you have too much spirit, and I didn't find any other reservation that I did find. Yeah, or deem basically useful here. So it's that. And the last thing I wanted to show here before I leave you off with the link and some other stuff is the jewels. I'm just gonna hover them. I was just looking for free mod jewels, and I was kind of unable to buy good ones. Like this one, for example, has attack speed, attack damage. Both are somewhat useful. And then I opted at some point, because I wasn't able at the time to buy good jewels with a good third modifier or explicit. So I've seen the ones that have a chance to blind, and those were rather cheap for having 3 slots. And I don't think it's that bad actually. You blind quite often with this. So I have 2 of them right now, I believe. Here's another one, maybe a third one. I have to check. But yeah, again, here I'm looking for, here's projectile speed, there's attack speed again, or attack damage again, another more blind stuff. Where are the other jewels? Here's one. Again, projectile speed, attack damage. Actually, flash charge is not that bad either. But that's the other 3 ones are the ones I care about. Oh, there's actually a third one that has also blind chance. I have a pretty high chance to blind enemies. Here we have mana recovery from Flask, which is also actually not that bad, but what I cared about was increased elemental damage. And hits with rare and unique enemies. So there's a lot of them. You just want emeralds, typically, because emeralds have stuff you want. That's pretty interesting. I also didn't talk about annoyance in the guide because I'm just too unsure. Like in the written one, I just don't know. Stuff I find interesting. Here's actually more blind stuff and has some attack damage. Overall, these notes here are somewhat, they're just too far away, which is like weird. I mean, you could maybe path there later. I kind of like the blind stuff. And also not that far away, but there's more blind effect. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you can allocate that, or maybe anointed. I don't know. I just find it interesting to have around here. Technically, this stuff is really good, but we are using the helmet, right? So if you want to manually ignite, then you could probably run an ES helmet maybe then allocate this, but it's also, again, it's far away, so it's a bit difficult. Other than that, I find this node pretty interesting for anointing. I don't have any anoint right now because I couldn't decide and I find it confusing, so we will see. So this is somewhat interesting here. I believe there was some stuff here as well, something like that, but I believe this one also has movement speed, which is really cool. Technically there's fire stuff here, right? There's more penetration, and then there's exposure stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe there's something like here. And there's also another interesting node I find. This one here, because it gives you area of effect, which is really cool for clear and stuff. And you have this burning enemies explode. Like, it's only a 5% chance, and I don't know exactly, but I don't know, I kind of want to try it. Problem, if you hold Alt, so you see this, and these are really expensive, especially this one, the Fear one is like, I don't know, 50x or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, you have to figure out annoyance yourself. Maybe just put on something random and then you can get that. Maybe you can also anoint this and then don't go there. I don't know. That's basically it. Oh, last one, by the way, I don't know if it's clear in the guide, but you get Gathering Winds, then you get this one, you get Point Blank. If you want to get the other one, get Far Shot. I just believe it's wrong, but fair enough. Windward, the Tailwind one, instead of getting an additional arrow for your third lab trial thing. This one is really powerful. Like, you don't really die. You don't get hit that much, and if you get hit, this reduces the damage taken by like 30%. So that's kind of crazy, to be fair. That's really good, especially if you have acrobatics plus this and a lot of evasion. Then you feel surprisingly immortal during content. You're not. You will get hit at some point, and you will probably die. But I don't really die much, to be fair. And on the content I'm currently doing with the skier, it's probably slightly undergeared for that. And I still feel fine, and I constantly run into monsters, and I'm kind of okay with that. Even rather dangerous ones with delirium and stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to share that, mostly because I wanted to share my notes, because I believe they're helpful to others. Keep in mind that I didn't create the build or anything, like, right? Don't get angry about that. That's fine. I don't know who created actually the Gas Arrow thing, to be fair. I have no idea. Probably everybody that, similar to me, on launch had Gas Arrow for some reason, because I was trying a Poison Pathfinder. And then at some point, some monster will randomly ignite it because of burning ground, or you randomly have some fire damage and you ignite. And then you see that Gas Cloud deals way too much damage. That was even before the nerf, so it was pretty easy to figure out that this is kind of strong, probably. But anyway, hope you enjoy, hope this is helpful, and yeah, bye.
What luck?
Hello there.